Hello everyone, welcome to TTD. This is your tangible tip of the day, and this video is either going to be TTD number 6 or it's going to be number 7, depending on my level of bravery, and we'll see about that. So anyway, let's figure out what today's tangible tip of the day is. Now, last time we talked about education, or quite possibly we talked about another subject, and this time we're going to be discussing getting to know yourself. Now, I think it's pretty obvious how this relates to happiness. Getting to know yourself can be helping you later on in relationships. It helps you figure out what you want to do for work. It can help you figure out what your goals and dreams are going to be for the rest of your life. So getting to know yourself. What should you do in order to get to know yourself? Well, what I do and what works for me is generally thinking about who I am and what I like to do. I'm an introvert, so thinking comes naturally to me. I enjoy spending the time to myself and just taking the time to think about certain subjects and really going through them. But that's just in my personality. That's not everyone. So what are some things you can do to figure yourself out? Well, if you're a person who's not very self-aware, you can always reach out to your top 5 friends, probably. Top 5 friends and family members, and maybe even more people than that, and see what they think about you. Tell them to basically give you the most honest response that they've ever given you ever in your life, and ask them what they think about you. That's a good way if you're not a good person at really internalizing and thinking about things. That's a good way to reach out. And even if you are somebody who's good at internalizing, that is a biased opinion. So in honesty, you could probably stand to reach out to somebody and ask them their opinion as well. So I have never reached out to somebody and seen what their opinion is of me, honestly. I'm gonna have to do that now. I might, if I reach out to some of you guys who are watching these videos, just be completely honest with me and tell me what you think. What would I do if I was sitting down and thinking for myself? Who am I? What do I like? One thing that I did pretty recently is I actually sat down and I wrote out everything that I loved about my previous jobs and everything that I hated about my previous jobs. And literally everything from the smallest little thing to the largest things. And what this helped me to do is figure out and realize why I was either unhappy or what I loved about the job, and what parts of those things really applied to who I am as a person. So for example, I don't like working under someone. I like my independence. I loved working with kids who wanted to learn. I might leave this part out. I do not like working with kids or anybody else who does not want to learn. Hence kind of the reason for this channel. I get to talk to people who want to learn. If you clicked on the channel, you want to learn. If you didn't click on it, well, all right. So I'm very interested in teaching all kinds of subjects. And through doing this exercise, I figured out, yes, I am a teacher. I love teaching. I don't like being shackled under certain rules. I don't like having to teach certain subjects. I want to jump around from thing to thing. So actually going through the lists of things you like and things you don't like helps you to understand why you like them or why you don't like them. I'm sure you can apply this to other things in your life. And doing this with work really provided insight into some of my values as a person. It wasn't all just business or job related. It showed me kind of who I am as a person, and it really led to me creating this channel in the first place. As you guys can see, it has changed from day to night behind me. I just wanted to give you an example of what this is going to look like for you. And the way that I created, the way that I worked on these lists looked more like this. I literally created a T-chart, and on the left side I wrote down the things I loved about the job, and on the right side I wrote down things I hated about the job. Actually, I started off with the hate, and then I moved to the love. The hate was just much easier to come up with. And at the top of those charts, I wrote which profession I was in, whether it was social work, whether it was teaching, and also other things that I've done. So I took my loves and my hates from each one of those professions that I've done, and I saw what matched up, and those things became core values of mine. So like I said, it's a little tedious of a task, but if you're willing to do it, it can be really, really helpful. I think you guys should see a finished product. This is what I ended up with. It's a my core beliefs. I ended up with 5 core beliefs that I found for myself, and I just want to read off what I found. Number 1, I am loyal to the truth. If something goes against the truth, then I am resistant to it. I found that I need to immerse myself in my activities. Anything I can get immersed in doesn't feel like work. I need to make a comfortable living with no ceilings. What I'm doing must be, or thought to be, the best way of doing something. It has to make sense to me. And do I matter or make a difference within my company, my team, etc., in my profession, in the lives of others in the world? Through doing this exercise, that's what I found out about myself, because I found that if I didn't believe something to be true, I resisted against it. Something has to be the truth. I'm not loyal to companies or to even in situations like people. Like, I'm very loyal to the truth. Like, what is the truth? Let's figure out the truth of the situation, and I'll tell you if you're full of crap or the person you're arguing with is full of crap. Immersing myself in activities. So I love losing myself in my work. So it could be a drawing, it could be this podcast, it could be these videos. Making these videos really gets me immersed and going. And it can honestly also be talking to people, even though I hate talking to people. And I'll explain exactly how to do that in a video that I have planned for you guys for this weekend. But it involves basically sticking to my truths, having no self-judgment, and being in the moment and enjoying the moment. So I have to be honest with myself, saying I need to make a comfortable living. I have to make a comfortable living. If something's not going to provide me a comfortable living, I don't feel comfortable doing it. What I'm doing must be or thought to be the best way of doing something. So I had to leave the school system because I don't really believe in the school system. I don't think it's the best way for children to learn. And then, do I matter or make a difference? Yes, I can make a difference, but if I don't believe it's the best way of doing something, then I'm going to want to do the thing that I feel is best. So those are just 5 values that I found and have become really, really key parts of me finding happiness and me understanding myself a whole lot more, and how I kind of operate in the world. So that is an example of what the results are going to look like for you. So with that being said, that is your today's tangible tip of the day. Go ahead and make a list of all the things you like and all the things you hate about certain parts of your life, whether it be your job, relationships, etc. And then another part to that could be asking the people who are closest to you what their opinion is of you, what they think of you. What are the 3 adjectives that they would use to describe you? And then you might have a little idea of who you are. Okay, so there's our tangible tip of the day. Number 6 or 7, depending on my level of bravery. Let's get it done.